Hello, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Hannah Fernandez, and you're watching SCORE TV. SCORE is a nonprofit association dedicated to helping small businesses across the United States get off the ground, grow, and achieve their goals through education and mentorship. So whether you are a new entrepreneur or you've been in business for a long time, our SCORE mentors could offer you free business mentoring and other services for the life of your business. To connect with us, check out our website at chicago.score.org. You could also email us at info@scorechicago.org or call us at 312-353-7724. Today we're going to talk about how the Better Business Bureau can help protect your business reputation and also protect your brand. With me today is Tom Johnson, Vice President of Public and Board Relations with the Chicago Better Business Bureau. Tom, thank you so much for being here today.
Hannah, great pleasure to be here. I'm a huge fan of SCORE. I'm a huge fan of CAN TV, so it's really wonderful to join you today.
I appreciate it. So, Tom, a Nielsen study found that 8 out of 10 consumers recognize the Better Business Bureau seal, and they're likely to purchase from a business that displays it. So, Tom, would you tell us more about the Better Business Bureau, BBB for short, and your role in there?
Yeah, sure. My role is a mixture of, we put on the biggest events for the organization, and we have great events that celebrate marketplace trust in business, like the Torch Awards, and also handling media and public relations and a whole myriad of things to help our business development teams just reach more businesses and also get the message out there that we want consumers to please come to the BBB and check out businesses before you do business with them, because it's really important. The vast majority of businesses are very trustworthy. They're very strong businesses. They care about their community. So come and check them out and make sure you're dealing with one of them.
And I love your Torch Awards because there's also a great chance to network with other business owners as well.
So the Torch Awards the Torch Awards are a award that celebrates marketplace trust. And any business in the entire BBB Northern Illinois community can nominate another company or their own company for a BBB Torch Awards. In fact, the nominations just opened this week. And so there's no cost to nominate, there's no cost to entry, although the entry is tough. Once you get nominated, the entry is very tough because you have to go through a lot of rigorous entry to show that you're really a trustworthy business that gives back to the community as well. And so all businesses, we really urge them to come nominate their businesses for the Torch Awards, and then at the end of the season, typically about 5 or 6 businesses every year are given the Torch Award. But it becomes an award that they put on. It's a giant award, and they put it on their front entryways, and it's something they're very proud of about, and it lasts the business their lifetime. So it's really this prestigious, great award. It's judged by a panel of about 14 to 16 independent judges completely. And so it's really this amazing, great, tough award to win. But if you win it, you've got it for a lifetime.
What an honor, and I would go ahead and display it proudly myself.
And we really urge businesses to nominate and go through the process, because even if you don't win, if you go through the process, you'll learn a lot about your businesses and how to compile your message better, and really tell the business community why you're a great business and why trust and ethics and valuing customers is important to you.
Absolutely. And when businesses apply for BBB's accreditation, they must meet certain qualifications and commit to upholding the BBB Code of Business Practices. So how can businesses qualify for accreditation?
Well, one of the big things that they can do is go to our website, and I can give you a direct phone number for people to contact as well.
That'd be great.
And that number, by the way, is 312-832-0823, and people can call that number or go to our website and basically apply for accreditation, not every business gets into the BBB because they have to go through a rigorous standard. If they are a contractor and they require licensing, we go to the Secretary of State, we verify that licensing, we make sure that people are operating in a trustworthy way, and we do a background check. So not every business gets into the BBB. So they can go apply, and if they are in the BBB, it gives them the chance to use this trust seal that you talked about, because customers are so much more comfortable doing business with a business that will be held accountable if they don't meet customer satisfaction.
And you mentioned that some businesses don't make it and get accredited. So what happens to them? Can they reapply again after making certain corrections?
They can reapply again.
Okay.
A lot of people don't have the proper verification, and they can go through the process. And sometimes they find out that they required licensing that maybe they didn't know about. Mm-hmm. So they go through the licensing process, and they come back, and maybe they have a couple of customer complaints that they weren't really aware of, and so they need to go take care of those kind of complaints. They can't have outstanding complaints. They can't have a bad customer reputation. If they have a bad customer reputation, that's a much more involved process, and that's going to take a while.
Sure, but they know exactly what they need to do to reapply again.
Yes, we tell them why you didn't make it through, why you're not being accredited into the BBB. So it's really helpful for good businesses. It's really helpful for bad businesses who try to get that seal so they can go promote it. They find out in a big hurry that that's not going to work out so well for them.
Good to know. The BBB assigns ratings from A+, which is the highest, and F, which is the lowest. So what determines the company's ratings? So
a couple of things I would say. You have to work really, really hard to get an A+, and you have to work really hard to get an F. And I can't tell you, sadly, we deal a lot with a lot of the media outlets and the investigative reporters, and we work a lot with the television news crews. Mm-hmm. And we spend so much time with customers who unfortunately have gone to an F-rated business and have had these terrible experiences. And if we always say, it goes back to an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. If you'd only come and check first, you'll find really good businesses. So there are 13 independent factors, totally unbiased factors that go into what makes up a BBB rating. Everything from what we talked about, making sure you have the proper licensing, making sure you don't have any outstanding complaints. Do you respond to customers, or do you ignore customers? And that's really one of the big factors that takes down a grade.
Gotcha. And why should businesses apply to become BBB accredited? What are some advantages of accreditation?
Well, there's a lot of advantages. One of them that you mentioned is the seal is widely recognized. We live in a time and an age, especially with the advent of the internet really getting into the business world, where trust and ethics and who am I dealing with has never been so important, right? Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. There's an epidemic of businesses on the internet. There's an epidemic of problem businesses on the internet, and you're not really sure who you're dealing with. So this seal gives you just this a really great brand of trust that you can deal with. 90% of people say that they research before they buy brands, and BBB is a huge tool for customers to come and look at businesses before they do business with them. BBB's website in Chicago is the most trafficked Better Business Bureau website in the United States. So a lot of consumers come and they look at businesses, and they're really, and the important thing is, the only reason they'd be coming to look at the BBB website is because they're already looking for someone to do a job. So that's really important.
And it's very helpful. And Tom, you have an extensive experience in PR, and I really want to share this with your viewers. You have a really fascinating career. So you've served at the City of Chicago for 15 years, with the last 8 as Director of Communications.
Yes.
You also worked on air in several newsrooms, including TV reporting at NBC5, ABC7, and also anchoring radio news. So being in the PR business for nearly 30 years and gaining much success, what was instrumental in helping you get to where you are today?
I think recognizing that just telling stories is telling good stories and being authentic is like behind all the great success stories that you see, and treating people fairly, treating people well, really looking out for people, trying to help people on the way, and just dealing with people honestly really continues to pay off as you move along the chain. And that's what media reporting really instills, is you want to get the story. You may have two sides of the story. You want to make sure that you tell both sides correctly and properly, and let the audience decide what the real story is. So if you take that integrity over into the business world and really find the great stories of your company, really find the great stories of your organization, and go tell them authentically, that's kind of the backbone to really good public relations.
And so in media, just like in business, you do business with people you like and you trust.
Right, and and the same thing is with a reporter. If you don't believe in your stories, if you don't believe in what you're saying, people have a tendency, they don't feel like they're engaged with you because you're not connected to your material. So it's really important to be connected to your business. It's really important to be connected to your stories, to your job, to really enjoy what you're doing and take that authenticity out.
And people could sense that when you're authentic and you truly care about the work that you do.
Yeah, I think so. That's been the case, and people, and genuinely caring about lifting other people up too as you go along. So when you deal with businesses, you should really try to say, here's maybe what I need from them, but what can I do to help them as well? And so I think that really that goes into genuine storytelling, which has always been one of the great keys to good public relations. Sometimes that gets lost, sure, but genuine storytelling has lasted, the test of time.
And also in business and in life, as much as you want to connect with people that are ultra successful, that are more successful than you also want to look behind and see who you could lift up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and it's really important. One of the things that I really found essential in life is finding out about other people and always storing that information and really listening to their stories and keep reconnecting throughout life when you find a way to help them. And helping people without being asked is one of the great gifts I think that you can give. It's really fun to help someone who's not really expecting it.
And they will always remember that.
Yeah, and relationships are so important. It's a matter of, not only in public relations, but in life, but certainly in business, that these relationships are so important to maintain and to do with integrity.
And Tom, for the viewers out there who are not super familiar with the overall concept of PR, can you share what PR is all about and why it's valuable for businesses?
It's invaluable for businesses, and absolutely. So businesses have a story to tell. And sometimes they don't understand what that story is, or they think they have something, story to tell, but that's not their real true story. There's stories behind every great businesses, and it's vital for businesses to take that out. So even if they're not a TV worthy business, maybe to tell your story to your customers, to maybe tell your stories to your vendors, to maybe tell your stories to your employees, and really know what your story is. But if you take those great storylines out and create public relations out of them, and you happen to get earned media coverage, good stories about your company, that's invaluable. It's really invaluable to business today.
And as you mentioned, entrepreneurs can use public relations to tell stories about their businesses and also build their brands. So what advice do you have for entrepreneurs who are looking to get the media to cover their business? Any way to create some newsworthy angles?
Okay, there are a few, and one of them is to always remember, news is called news for a reason. It's new information. So what is your company doing that's unusual or new? And are you providing, are you coming into town? Are you providing, you've just surpassed and you're now providing the 100th employee in the Chicago job market? Are you hiring 100 people? Have you been in business for 10 years? What's your story? What makes you really interesting? Are you creating a new product? product that's going out to the world. So really finding your story is vital to businesses, and getting out and being able to tell that properly to the news stations and reporters. One of the things I often see people do is create press releases in business, and the next thing they saw somebody on TV and they're just dialing them up, and it could be the weatherman, it could be the political reporter, it could be someone who doesn't even cover that kind of story. So really think about who it is and what station you want to tell your story. So if you got a great business story to pitch, make sure you're pitching it to someone who deals with business stories. So, and that's one of the other keys too. Like where would I like to tell my story? What would I like them to know? And I have a bar that I tell businesses to always pass this test. Mm-hmm. So what? Who cares? And that's the first question I ask companies when they say, oh, I got this great story. And I say, so what? Who cares? So that. Pass that bar, and now you're onto something.
I love that. So what and who cares?
Yep. So what? Who cares? That I think is a great test for you to pass for business. So take your story, and it's probably a great story, mm-hmm. but you have to tell me why it's important. You have to tell me why I would sit at home and say, oh, that's a great story. I'm glad I saw that.
Exactly.
Because that's what the reporters are looking for.
Absolutely. Because most of the times, a lot of small business owners, they have such an agenda. You know, like they think that their products or services are the best thing that's ever happened. But at the same time, it's not about you. It's what's in it for other people, what's in it for them.
Right. You got to remember that broadcast stations have audiences, and there's a reason why all stations broadcast traffic and weather all the time, right? Because it impacts everybody. So they're always looking to tell, media wants to tell interesting stories. They really do. So you just have to make it interesting, and not to 4 people. You have to make it interesting to more people. And there are a lot of great stories, a lot of great business stories, and businesses just need to take an internal look and say, what is my great story? And if you don't know, ask more of your employees, and if they don't know, ask some of your customers, and if they don't know, get an outside group to help you.
So it goes back again to just talking to people. You could learn a lot from just asking questions and really caring about the answers.
Yeah, right. And a lot of it has a lot to do with listening. You'd be surprised if you really turn up your hearing and hear back what the marketplace is telling you about your product, about your company. The people who do business with you for a reason. So just listen intently to that, and you'll hear a lot of your story that you're trying to create actually coming back as feedback to you.
That's a good point, because sometimes people are so attached to their ideas or services or products that even if the market is telling them what that market wants or do not want, they're not taking notes and actually implementing that.
Yeah, and sometimes the feedback you get from your very customers, the feedback you get from your employees who are working at your organization, why are they working for you? Is it just for a paycheck? Probably not. They're probably staying with your company for a reason. They're probably buying for your company for a reason. And maybe it's excellent customer service. Maybe it's this mind-boggling product. Maybe it's the fact that you're a Chicago company and they want to be part of the Chicago community. So your customers' employees can be one of your greatest sources of research that you can do for a company.
And Tom, sometimes no matter how careful a business is, a PR situation arises when an organization faces a challenge to its reputation. So how should a company deal with a PR crisis?
Well, one thing is prepare ahead of time so you're responding as much as possible and reacting as little as possible. And in crisis, depending on what the crisis is, it can be a wide variety of reasons. Really take an authentic step back, take a look at the problem, and deal with it. If it's a problem within your company, it might be a problem that you may have a company and all of a sudden a fire started and you had a burst in the pipelines, that type of thing. Or it could be with a product. Just take a step back and deal with it then authentically as possible, and don't run. Walk to find out your big story. Don't feel like you need to react immediately. Get back, assess the situation, how you're going to go about fixing the situation, and then taking that out and presenting it in a very authentic way.
Those are great tips. And a study by Harvard Business Review found that customers who have a complaint that is handled in less than 5 minutes go on to spend more on future purchases. So when a company receives a complaint, what are some ways to respond and handle the complaint? And can you provide some suggestions on ways to stop that complaint from going viral?
Well, in this day and age of viral complaints, BBB complaints that come into the BBB are verified, and we're verified that the customer actually did business with this company before anything is ever posted. So we do away with something in the heat of the moment, or we do away with something with someone who may not have done business with this company. So that is important in the instant complaint world. But so our complaints that come in are verified. It's both sent back to the complainant to make sure that they did business, and also to the business owners, and then we get to the real root of the problem. For businesses, they should take a complaint, look at it, internalize it, and say, what can we do if this really was our fault, if this really was an error, if this really was a lack of customer service, or something that we just want to rectify. They should go about that as expediently as possible, because the statistics even take away the time frame out of it. Customers who have a complaint dealt with in a positive manner, in other words, resolved, do have an 80% tendency to come back and do further business with this company. So, so it's very important to deal with those complaints. And if you deal with a complaint, it really goes on to carry over customer trust. And if you get customer trust, you now have a customer in many cases for a lifetime. And that customer may buy and buy and buy from you over and over again. So it's really important to deal with it. And not just let it linger, and not take care of customers, because that is sending someone to your competitor immediately, because they'll never do business with you again if you ignore their complaint. So it's vital.
Exactly, and I don't blame them. And you know, a lot of the times customers just want to be heard.
Right.
They want to make sure that the business cares about them. And like you said, if you take care of them in a timely way and resolve that matter, they could be your greatest loyal customers that's going to go ahead and be your advocates at times.
And the greatest companies that I've seen, and I'm happy to, just see these wonderful companies, and large companies and small companies in the BBB, and the greatest ones that I've seen, just customer service is at the tip top of their list. It really is. Make sure that we fix it. And sometimes it may be a customer who got something wrong, but they still try to resolve it and make sure that the customer is happy regardless.
Most consumers read online reviews when making a purchase, and positive reviews can make consumers trust a business more. Think about how many times that you or other customers check reviews before booking a hotel room or making a dinner reservation, right?
Right.
So what can business owners do proactively to gain customer loyalty, drive more sales, and also build their brand?
Well, that's a great question, and one of the things we do at BBB, we have we really urge our businesses as well. You are companies that are really going out of your way to do great customer service. You're a company that's really trustworthy. You really take the community serious. Don't try to get as many people engaged with reviews as possible, because it's really important for people who come in and have a wonderful experience with your customer to be encouraged to leave us some kind of a review, please. And so those reviews mean everything, and negative reviews are really important for people to take care of. And you will see the good companies take care of negative reviews. They go on and try to mediate them to the best of their ability, and if they were wrong, they fix it. So it's really important. And one of the things that's really interesting, and it's been the change a lot with the technology and social media ads and pop-up ads and pop-up companies on the internet, is 46% of the traffic coming to the Better Business Bureau website now is from ages 46 and under. That's purely coincidental that talking point worked out so well, but those are the latest statistics. So 46% is coming from 46 years of age or under. So we're seeing this entire new generation in this marketplace coming to the BBB too, because they are running across so much so much tough decisions and so many questionable companies on the internet, now they're learning that they can't really trust the internet quite as much as they used to. So that dynamic is really important too. So there's nothing, reviews and ratings are just vital for companies to grow. They have to earn them.
Absolutely. And having the BBB symbol of accreditation in your business website or marketing is an instant badge of trust and credibility for a business. So for those interested in becoming BBB certified, what's the best way to get more information or get started?
So come to our site at bbb.org, and you'll see a big promotion kit there to see. You can see some of the benefits of coming to the site. I'll also give you this number one more time, and this is Michael, who handles a lot of our questions. He's a big advocate and supporter at 312-832-0823, and just come and take a look at that, and people can really use this to their advantage. If you get the BBB seal and work with it, you can also put it on all your proposals. You can put it on your website. You can put it on your emails. And a lot of businesses really take advantage of this. And in a marketplace, again, where trust has never become so important, all of this really helps you in a marketplace that has become complicated, right? With the internet and social media and pop-up ads for companies and a lot of people trying to sell a little bit of everything on the internet, social media. So it really makes a dynamic difference.
Absolutely. Well, Tom, thank you so much for being here today and for all you do to help small businesses. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure.
Awesome. And to those of you watching right now, if you'd like to volunteer, we are looking for more SCORE mentors. Again, our website is chicago.score.org. My name is Hannah Fernandez. Thank you so much again for watching, and see you again next time on SCORE TV.